Hello everyone and welcome to Retro Intel. On today's show, we'll be looking at these two Spectrum computers. Actually, we're not going to be looking at them. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be evaluating three of the diagnostics cartridges that I found for the ZX Spectrum computers. We're going to look at them, see how they work, the differences between the two, and then I'm going to give you my opinion, which one I believe is the best card. So let's peek inside and poke around. So the first diagnostics board is the Spectrum Diagnostic Cartridge we have plugged in here. I have it plugged into my Spectrum Plus computer. So let's turn it on and see what works. So I am getting a boot up screen. However, this unit, the LED should be lighting up, and I'm not sure if it's showing up in the camera, but it is not lighting up at this time. The diagnostics is running, but it's just not, let's see if I can zoom in here a bit more. It is not producing any lights on here at all. It might look like there are lights because of the lighting in my room, but there are no lights being produced. This diagnostics, like I said, is working, but it seems to be slower of the three to do all its tests, which doesn't mean it's bad, it's just slightly slower. So let's continue on with the diagnostics. Upper RAM is okay, lower RAM is okay. It's going to do the ROM CRC check and doing the testing the interrupts. LED should be flashing. There is nothing flashing on here, so we'll have to try this on my my ZX Spectrum computer as opposed to Plus. Now the Plus computer, this one here, has the issue 6A board, where the other one has only the issue 2 board. So maybe it's because of that. I'm not sure. Again, this is a novice at this. I'm just trying to evaluate and see which one of these diagnostics cartridges I like the best. So now we're done that, and this should be booting into the ZX Spectrum software itself, and it's not. But let's plug in the other one. So let me power this one off and disconnect everything here. And we'll plug in this Spectrum here. So let's do the video, and we'll do the board and the power. Now the power won't come on right away. I've purchased this adapter which has a switch on it, which is I highly recommend. It allows you then just to, turn on and off when you need to. So let's turn this on and see what happens. Now, as you can see, this one here, I'm not sure if it's sure why this is not picking it up, but let me see if I can zoom in a bit more here. There we go. So now we are seeing the lights flashing on this unit. And you can see there's one's flashing there. And it's going to cycle through them all to ensure that the RAM is fine. And as you can see, the color has showed up on the screen to your right. And it's going to go through them all. And we shall see what comes up after this part. Now you'll have to pardon the video quality isn't the best on the capture card. These are running PAL. These are PAL computers. My capture card is doing its best to incorporate or interpret PAL signal, but not too bad. You'll see it's much better on the Spectrum Plus than on these. But as you can see, the LEDs are flashing. It is working. I don't know why it doesn't work on the issue 6A board. If you do know, please leave me a comment in this video. And okay, so now we've done all our tests. It should be booting up into the ROM, into the Spectrum ROM, which should give us the logo and the prompt. And there we go. There is the logo, and here we are in BASIC. let's see here, 23733 255. That means, I believe that means you have 48K on the machine. So this looks good. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, next up is the Detonator Mini cartridge. Let's try this one. And this one boots up into a menu where you have different games you can play. You can select by hitting the space bar to change screens, and you can just pick a number and it loads up, and you have to press R to run the diagnostics. Now, when I'm doing repair, I wouldn't always have the keyboard connected. So what you have to do is hold down this left button here and power it up. So let's power it off. Hold that button down and then power it back on. And now it's booting up into the diagnostics. Here, this initial screen gives you different options. If you want to soak test, which means repeating the test, you can do a ULA test, keyboard test, etc. So now this is going to go through the test for the lower and upper memory. The quality of the Spectrum Plus for my capture card seems to be better, so that's why I'm using this computer. Now it's doing the interrupts. And notice this one is version 0.35, because the previous card and the next one has a 0.38, a newer version of the diagnostic software. And here we go. We're back into the basic prompt, and test is done. We can plug in a joystick, which I'm not plugging in one right now. And yeah, that's about it for this card. One thing I do like about it's got the pass-through edge connector, so you can plug another card if you want for video or SD card or something else you want to plug in the back. So let's move on to the next one. So the next cartridge, the last one we have plugged in here, is the ZX Spectrum Diagnostics board. It's the version 2.17, and it's a much bigger board compared to the other ones. This is the first one, the Spectrum Diagnostics. This is the mini Detonator. So let's bring this one up and see how this one works. Notice the same menu on the screen, same beeping sounds. However, this one has LEDs which are flashing and providing additional information, and we'll get to that once we've done all the diagnostics. Again, this diagnostics version is 0.38 from the D. Smith and B. Alford developers, I believe, of the diagnostic software. It looks the same to me. I'm not sure what the differences are. This seems to be a newer version of the software. Again, everything is passing. I don't have any dead spectrums, thank God. But if I did, we would, get errors and go from there. And this is doing a nice little presentation visually of LEDs for the CPU and the data lines and all the power lines. So again, here we are back on the basic. So a neat thing with this and the other and the Detonator board of these two versions, if you press M, hold the M key down while you're powering up, you get a menu here which is a memory dump. The memory dump is actually a really cool way to see the contents of memory. Again, I apologize for the capture, it's not the greatest, but you get the idea of that you can actually go through memory and see what's going on from there. So let's take a little bit closer look on the boards. But actually, before we do that, I want to show you something that I've modified on this board to help me do diagnostics, additional diagnostics with this board. So let's look at that now. So with the mod I've made to this board, it's very simple. What I've done is, I'll show you right here. I've taken a resistor, and the resistors come in this kit, this is a kit that you have to assemble, while the other two were already pre-assembled. The resistors come like this. So you would just place them in the board and off you go. Like these ones here, they're all set that way. You just pop them in and so on. And what I have done is on my resistors, I took the resistor and I bent the lead down like so. So let me just fix it a little bit so it's easier to see. So these are bent. The ones for the data lines and the signal lines are installed this way. So this side would be on the board and this side would be exposed, just like I'm showing. I have right here. The legs are being exposed on the one side. Now, why would I do that? Well, the reason for that is that so I can then plug in my oscilloscope. I can take my oscilloscope and plug it in, and I can actually see and monitor what's going on there. Now, these are LEDs that are flashing, yes, but if I'm having an issue and I want to actually see what's going on, then I can just plug in my scope. Now, what we need to do is on one of the legs here, on the pin on the right side, I believe it's what pin here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10th pin on the bottom side is ground, and I've hooked the ground up to the probe, and now I can just turn on the unit, and we can actually monitor what is going on some of these lines. So if I want to, pardon me, if I want to monitor what's going on one of the data lines, I can just hook up my oscilloscope, and we can see we are getting a signal. My scope has a delay when it comes to displaying on the screen, so hopefully it'll start popping up in a moment here. You can see we're getting a square wave. Now this is upside down. Oh my goodness. Okay, I've readjusted the output on the video. For some reason it was showing upside down. Now it's right side up, and we can see where I froze the screen on my Handtech oscilloscope. I'm using the DS-5102P. I really like it. It wasn't expensive, and for my needs it works great. Anyways, that's another story for another day. So we can see that I'm actually picking up a signal off the board, and the reason I can do that is because of the way the leg is installed on the resistor. Right, so if you install it like that, you can then just use this probe to grab it. If I want to see what's going on in the reset, again, I can, this is the blue one here, I can just clip onto there, and I can run this, and we can see that it is high. And it looks like it's working fine. Let's turn it on and off and see if it resets. The signal goes to 0, turn it back on, and the diagnostics is running and it's popping up. These are one of the several control points you can pick on the processor. One is the reset. There's the read write MIRQ, IORQ, ROM CS, MNI, and M1 controls. So if we want to pick, let's say, the M1 control, we can just, again, piggyback off of that, attach our probe, and we can take a look and see what's going on there. We're getting data. Now, it's the same on the data lines. We can pick a data line. This is, let's see, address line 5. I am picking up data on there too. The LEDs are flashing, but let's say I wanted to see something going on. I want to see better. I want to see what's actually going on with the signal itself, and I can put up on the scope and take a better look. So that's kind of neat. And the other thing is that there's the +5, -5, +9, and +12 volt LED indicators on here. So they are lighting up. Does that mean that you are getting 5 volts and minus 5 volts and plus 9, plus 12. I don't know. You'd have to then probably do the same with these resistors to see if you are getting the voltages you want. Now you can do all this without actually opening up the case. So now let's go to the next part of the video where we'll talk a little bit more about each board and their pros and cons. So first up is the Spectrum Diagnostics cartridge. This was the cheapest of the boards. I'm sure the prices will vary on all the other ones. Price plus the price today and the price in a year from now, whatever, a month from now could change. This is the simplest of the boards. You can make some changes to monitor the MI, the MI and different pages, so you can actually page different programs flash onto here. It's got very simplistic LEDs on here. It's a neat little board. It's very compact. This one is by myretrostore.co.uk. Although I bought this, I believe I bought this from them. Yes, I bought this one from them. And it's interesting how the diagnostics works fine on the ZX Spectrum computer, which is the issue 2 board. But the issue 6A board, it's having some trouble. For example, the LEDs aren't lighting up. Next is the slightly more expensive. This is the Detonator Mini. This one is the Detonator Mini 2.1. It's really cool. I like the fact that it has the pass-through connector on here. So if you want to plug in another diagnostics cartridge or something else, why would you want to plug two? I don't know, but let's say for video adapter or some other adapter, you can plug in the back and have this card in. You also get a joystick port with this, and you can actually program some games. I believe it's 512K worth of games you can put on. It's quite a bit on here. So I like that, and I like that it's small. One thing that I do not like about it is that I have to press and hold the button for the diagnostics come up. If you don't have a keyboard, you just press R and you're okay. But I don't like the fact that I have to hold this button down. I don't like the fact that the games on here are only text adventures, which is fine, but they're all in Spanish. Being a Canadian, I don't speak Spanish, although I do partially understand it. I think that the board should be set up for English for people in Canada or UK or whatever, and Spanish for people in Spain, Mexico, or maybe in the US. I don't know. So I have to now go through the whole process of which they have on their website, on their documentation, how to go ahead and change all the games on here, how to add your own, and so on and so forth. But other than that, it's really cool. Like the fact that it's got the built-in joystick, but it's missing easy access to the data pins. This unit, the ZX Spectrum Diagnostics board, this one is more expensive. It's also bigger. It has you can do reset button is here. The MMI is here for diagnostics. There's different settings. There's a setting here for clone boards. You can also change the switch to have it chase the LEDs this way. It's kind of like real-time viewing of the data, which I prefer. The LEDs, the resistors, like I said, I've changed them so that they're all put on like that, so you have easy access to the data lines. And again, you can just get your scope, and you just clip onto the leg, and you're getting your readings. The nice thing is that if there is a problem with your board, you can actually do that and actually see what's going on. The only thing, two things I don't like about this board. One is that there's no easy way to check, I guess unless you make the same mod I did, to check the voltages. I mean, we have +5, we have, let's see if you can see here, we have +5, -5, +9, and +12. Well, I would like to get my multimeter in here and actually verify that those voltages are correct, not just showing a light, because the LED could be on with a lower voltage. The only other thing I would wish the board was a little bit bigger, and it would include the address buses. So we have the data buses here, the data, all the data activities going on here. We have CPU activity here, but we don't have any address bus activity. That would be kind of a great feature to add. Make it a little bit bigger. I'm not sure if they could. I'll probably not lower this down, but it looks quite busy. It needs a cleaning. I cleaned it, but I have to clean it again to remove all the work that I've done on the board. Again, I soldered this myself. The surface mount components are already pre-soldered. I just have to solder the sockets, LEDs, resistors, the transistor, the edge connector, and the buttons. And this one has a little plastic piece on the back, so it's like a stand. It sits, it's not wobbling up and down, and you can, with the indentations here, you can actually grab it and pull it out of the unit or push it in quite easily. So if I had to pick which of these units would be the one for you, I don't know. Each one has its pros and cons. Every one is different, but for me, doing repairs, I personally would like this unit, the ZX Diagnostic board. I picked up this one at ZX Renewed, and the Detonator, I believe I picked it up that one there too. All three are great. Again, depends on what you want to do. I like to get the scope out and actually get inside the CPU and the data and so on without having to count pins and look up the sheets and say, okay, this is pin 21 and this is pin 5 and etc. etc. This is actually a neat way to view it real quick. You just put your probe on there and go. But then again, you're going to have the unit open so you can actually do all that. This just, again, makes it easier. I like the fact, again, you can put games on here, but I don't like the fact you have to push and hold the button to boot up into it. And this one is great for the price. It's really good. Again, I don't know why it's not working properly for the issue 6 board. So this is my review and my opinion on these diagnostics board. These boards, I've purchased all of the boards myself, so this is not sponsored by any particular company. I have mentioned 2 of them, and again, there's other ones on the net. I'm sure you could find them and purchase from them. Again, I'm new at this. I'm new at the ZX Spectrum computers, but I'm not new at troubleshooting and repairs. So the knowledge you learn from one, you can carry on to the other. Just got to learn the particulars about it. And again, like I said, this is the one I would pick for myself to use as a daily driver doing repairs. Again, these ones would work just fine. But if you had to pick one, I would order this one here and go with that. And with that being said, I want to thank you for watching the show. I appreciate all viewers like yourself, and special big thanks to all my subscribers. Hopefully you've clicked that bell for future notifications, and I look forward to seeing more of you onto the channel. And I again really appreciate and thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.